It may be 100 years in our rearview mirror, but the war to end all wars started today. World War I began on July 28, 1914, and eventually involved well over a dozen countries on 4 continents. Today, there are no surviving American World War I veterans, but we can still learn the lessons of the conflict today. And here to help us do that is Purdue historian David Atkinson. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, when we think of World War I, we know about the desolation, trench warfare, no man's land. What are we not seeing about World War I today?
Well, there's no question the devastation, the tank warfare, airplanes, the use of chemical weapons. I mean, all of this is a fundamental part of this war. But I think what you lose when you focus on the devastation is the incredible transformations that this war caused. If you look at the economy, this has tremendous effects on the international economy. It's going to pull the United States out of minor power status, really, into the first rank of international powers. If you look at the collapse of empires around the world, 4 major empires will collapse as a result of this war. So the transformations really go way beyond the battlefield in this conflict.
And what are some of the things that we're still feeling the effects of even 100 years later? What are some of the things we see in the modern world today?
You know, I think the simple fact of American preeminence globally in terms of its military, economic, and political power is a result of this war. You know, Americans were reluctant at the time, of course, to engage in this conflict, and they were reluctant after this conflict to continue that role. But eventually, they will continue what began in World War I. And I think, of course, too, the conflicts that you see still today around the world, the conflict in the Middle East. The Middle East is a product of the First World War. It's created out of the First World War with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. So those conflicts we see in that region really have their roots in the instability caused by this conflict. And
quickly, is there a difference in how Europeans and Americans view the World War I even 100 years later?
I think absolutely. I think the fact that we have to wait another 3 years before we can actually commemorate the entrance of the United States into that war. And of course the casualties, as awful as 100,000 casualties are in the United States, the Europeans dealt with in the millions. Yeah. So it's felt much more keenly, I think, in that regard.
All right, David Atkinson from Purdue, we appreciate the time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.